We're now waiting for 2 sets of hooks to open. Following this, there will be a very short set of undocking burns as well as a short set of departure burns. And the first set of hooks have begun to open. There are 2 sets of hooks with 6 each for a total of 12 hooks in all that will be open today.
Station Houston on 2. First set of hooks are open. Dragon is committed to undock.
We copy. Committed to undock.
Again, the first set of hooks are open and the second set are in the midst of opening. If you're just joining us this morning, we're bringing you live coverage of the autonomous undocking of a SpaceX Cargo Dragon vehicle that has been docked to the space station since December 22nd. Packed inside Cargo Dragon is more than 4,000...
Visual separation confirmed, 15:40:23.
Copy, Tom. And all hooks are open. Dragon separation is confirmed.
And those words from the crew informing that they are able to see physical separation. Undocking occurring at 9:40 a.m. Central Time, 10:40 a.m. Eastern Time over the South Pacific Ocean. The unpiloted SpaceX Cargo Dragon vehicle that has been docked to the space station since December 22nd is now headed back to Earth. Packed inside Cargo Dragon is more than 4,900 pounds of research and return cargo.
We copy. Burn 0 complete.
And we will be regaining video capability from the space station shortly. We're in the process of a series of burns. These burns will help to distance Dragon from the space station. And you're seeing a view of the Dragon as it departs the space station. The next milestone that we'll look for Dragon to complete is when it exits the Keep Out Sphere. The Keep Out Sphere is a 200-meter radius around the space station. And as Dragon continues to move further away from the space station, it will exit the Approach Ellipsoid. This is a 4-kilometer by 2-kilometer by 2-kilometer space around the International Space Station. Both the Keep Out Sphere and the Approach Ellipsoid serve as checkpoints for vehicles on the way to and from the space station. Later this afternoon, Dragon will be a safe distance away from the space station for its deorbit burn, which is currently scheduled for 2:18 p.m. Central Time. This burn will be The deorbit burn scheduled for tomorrow at 2:18 p.m. Central Time will be a just under 8-minute long braking maneuver. This will allow the Dragon to drop out of its orbit for its descent back to Earth. Dragon will splash down off the coast of Florida tomorrow at 3:05 p.m. Central Time. Landing is scheduled off the coast of Panama City, Florida. We won't be broadcasting splashdown, but you can follow along on the Space Station blog and social media for updates.
Departure burn 1 is complete.
And we copied. Departure 1 burn complete. And Expedition 66 wishes the Dragon well on its return. Congratulations to Houston and SpaceX. Can't wait to see what the results bring us.
And good words, Tom, and a big congratulations to you and the rest of the crew for all the work you did with this mission. Great job as well.
Copy, Houston. Thanks.
And that was Capcom's Scott Sagatti confirming that Dragon has completed the departure burns, and some bid farewell words to Dragon by NASA astronaut Tom Marshburn. Dragon should be exiting the Keep Out Sphere in just about 1 minute. Once Dragon exits the Keep Out sphere, which is that 200-meter radius around the space station, we'll be looking for it to exit the approach ellipsoid. And we did just get confirmation that Dragon has exited the Keep Out sphere.
Dragon has exited the Keep Out sphere.
And we copy, exiting the Keep Out sphere.
With Dragon having successfully exited the Keep Out sphere, joint operations between teams here in Houston and the SpaceX flight control team in Hawthorne will be complete. At this point, NASA's task as part of the joint mission operations are finished for this operation, and flight controllers in the SpaceX Mission Control Center in Hawthorne, California will take over operations of the Dragon cargo craft. Dragon is continuing to move further from the International Space Station, all proceeding smoothly so far. The next milestone that we're looking towards is when Dragon will exit the approach ellipsoid, scheduled for about 9 minutes from now. The approach ellipsoid is 4 kilometers by 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. If you're just joining us this morning, the unpiloted SpaceX cargo Dragon is on its way back to Earth with more than 4,900 pounds of science investigations. Earlier this morning, the undocking command was sent at 9:35 a.m. Central Time, followed by physical separation at 9:40 a.m. Central Time, occurring over the South Pacific Ocean. Dragon has exited the Keep Out sphere, and we're now waiting for Dragon to exit the approach ellipsoid. That should occur about 7 minutes from now. Following this, Dragon will continue to move further from the International Space Station before its deorbit burn scheduled for 2:18 p.m. Central Time tomorrow afternoon. Dragon will have a parachute-assisted splashdown off the coast of Florida, scheduled to happen at 3:05 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. We're targeting splashdown off the coast of Panama City, Florida. Following splashdown, the experiments on board will be transferred to the NASA Space Station Processing Facility at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. NASA TV will not broadcast Dragon's splashdown, but you can look for updates on the Space Station blog and follow along on social media. This view of the cargo Dragon as it continues to drift away from the International Space Station. Dragon is approaching the exit point of the approach ellipsoid, which is 4 kilometers by 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. We're now less than 5 minutes away from the cargo Dragon exiting the approach ellipsoid. And to recap the autonomous undocking events today, the unpiloted Dragon cargo vehicle was set free from the International Space Station at 9:40 a.m. Central Time while flying over the South Pacific Ocean. Dragon then executed a series of undocking and departure burns to move it to a safe distance away from the space station. The Dragon exited the keep-out sphere and at the And we do have confirmation that the Dragon is now outside of the approach ellipsoid.
Station Houston on 2. Dragon is outside the approach ellipsoid on a 24-hour safe free drift trajectory. And again, another big thanks to all of you for all the work you've done in the last few days to get us ready for Undock. We really do appreciate it.
And we copy. Thank you as well. There's a lot of replanning going on, and everyone did a fantastic job keeping us informed and keeping us going and making this happen. So we very much appreciate it. It's been an audacious month, and we hope all the return will provide a lot of benefit for everyone on the ground. Thanks very much.
And with Dragon now safely out of the approach ellipsoid, to recap some of the autonomous undocking events of today, the unpiloted Dragon cargo vehicle was set free from the International Space Station by commands from the ground at 9:35 a.m. Central Time, and physical separation occurred at 9:40 a.m. Central Time as the International Space Station and Dragon were flying over the South Pacific Ocean. Dragon then executed a series of undocking and departure burns to move it to a safe distance away from the space station, where it will continue to move for the next several hours. Tomorrow at 2:18 p.m. Central Time, Dragon will execute a deorbit burn. And following the deorbit burn, Dragon will have a parachute-assisted splashdown off the coast of Panama City, Florida, targeted for 3:05 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. The experiments on board will then be transferred to NASA's Space Station Processing Facility at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. NASA TV will not broadcast Dragon's splashdown, but you can look for updates on the Space Station blog and follow along on social media. And with the cargo Dragon now safely on its way back to Earth, carrying more than 4,900 pounds of cargo and research with it, that will wrap our coverage for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Mission Control Houston.